What's going on, guys? Christian here from CK Wraps. So I'm getting into unwrapping this car. It's a Tesla Model Y, by the way, in case you didn't notice. And I wrapped it 4 years ago in Avery Gloss Pearl White. Now, in the previous video, I had shown that there's deterioration across the top edge here. I have removed the other side. I've removed the fender on the other side, the hood and the front bumper, and the mirrors. That's about it so far. Okay, so I've gotten into this. I'm seeing where this is going, and it's definitely not going well. This might end up being one of the worst wrap removals I have ever done because there's glue everywhere. Like, it is everywhere.
It is everywhere.
Purpose of this video is to show you this, and honestly, the rest of the wrap is not showing any sign of deterioration, and it's only been 4 years in 4 seasons, okay? So this has not even been a high UV environment. Again, the purpose of this video is to show you what's happening with the removal. A little trick on removal that I'm noticing is, whatever, we'll get into that in a second. And then also what it looks like under the deteriorated part of the wrap, because honestly, it doesn't look any different than the rest of the car. I could just show you the other side, but I want to show you the removal so you know that I didn't mess around and clean anything up on the other side. So this way you see it all live, right in action. As you can see already, probably on the mirror, there is adhesive on it. I mean, the mirror is not terrible. I can deal with this. Like, it's a very small area. I mean, it rubs off with your thumb. You can use other stuff to clean it off as well. You can see that it falls right off. But I haven't even gotten to the doors yet. Honestly, thought the vertical surfaces would be fine. Mirror here, kind of figured there would be adhesive left over. The hood totally came out perfect, actually. There's not a single speck of adhesive on it, but that was wrapped more recently. I'm not sure exactly when. The bumper has a ton of adhesive on it as well, and that's more vertical, to be honest. So the hood being more horizontal, I'm not sure why, or if the customer had wrapped them at different times. I'll just have to ask him, or he'll comment, because I know he follows the channel. But either way, we're gonna see what's underneath this wrap right here. So I'm gonna bring the camera a little bit closer. Actually, I'll get it started first, and then I'll bring the camera closer. I'm gonna have to find an edge here. The other side I started at the back. I might have to, because it's kind of tricky because I have everything tucked in here. So we'll see if I can grab an edge. If I can't, then I'll grab it from the back and move it forward. But let's just get it going here. So there's some deterioration here. It's not really that terrible. Actually, let's just even get you in closer for this part. Get you kind of zoomed in a couple of feet. And probably, or maybe hopefully, see some of the deterioration at that point there. Maybe a little bit tough to tell with the glare, but there is some here. It starts to get progressively worse as we near the top, where it's, again, more horizontal. I'm gonna throw some heat at this and start picking up a corner best that I can. Don't wanna go too hot. There's the rubber trim to worry about, so don't wanna burn that, obviously. That stuff is pretty fragile. The drone of the heat gun, I'll try and talk over it, so this way we don't have to just listen to the drone of the heat gun, because it's somewhat annoying to listen to that, but I have to run it. I have to keep steady heats and just at least kind of get this going here. It's really, really tricky. Again, because I don't have much to hold on to. I'm just trying to scrape it up with my fingernail and get an edge going. Starting to, okay. Just something. There's a little bit going. If I go hotter, it'll make the film more malleable, but then I run the risk of damaging that little trim piece there, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just trying to keep steady heat on it. I can see that it's just got to get my fingers on something. There we go. Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm going to just get this running a bit, and I'm going to be warming it, and you're going to see adhesive. Now, this side is probably the same as the other side, I'm guessing, because the deterioration is about the same. Yeah, this is already leaving glue behind. Okay, so it's tricky to get it up from the edges, like where I have it tucked in, and also prevent as much adhesive as possible from just coming off the backing of the wrap, okay? Okay, so let's just get into this a bit more before I talk about it. This is sheer, okay. This right here is not adhesive. You can hear that. That's just pure adhesive right there. So there's zero stickiness to this side at all. It's all on the paint side. Remember, this is Avery. This is the brand that everyone's like, whoa, yeah, this is the best ever. it's nice to install, but I mean, 4 years later on the removal, this is way worse than I expected, to be honest. I've removed 4-year-old wraps from a lot of cars. I can't even think though if I've removed an Avery wrap after 4 years, but I've done Vivid and Tech Wrap even, and 3M, and like I've never seen adhesive this bad before. Is the film defective? Nope. Okay, so it's not defective. It's the film's fine. It's just transferring. The adhesive is not sticking to the material as well as it is to the paint, basically. So it is separating from the material. This is likely due to a cause and breakdown over time. Again, this is something that Avery actually sort of is warranties more or less, but what kind of warranty are you gonna get from them? On the verticals, again, they're gonna see this. It's gonna be all over the doors. This isn't even that horizontal. This shouldn't be doing this right now, okay? Like, this is pretty vertical. The other side is exactly the same thing. So it's not like this side sat in the sun more than the other side of the car, which is kind of what I was thinking. But again, the deterioration is consistent on the tops of these pillars right here. Yeah, let's keep going. And you'll notice there's a nice clean patch right here. So what I've noticed is that if I go over with a lot of heat, okay, heat it up a lot like this takes forever. But I mean, it's this or clean up adhesive, okay? And then keep it warm, and then I begin to remove the wrap, it comes up a lot cleaner. So I'm guessing that it's still leaving adhesive behind, but I'm guessing that it's softening the adhesive enough from the paint, like just right there, just that single little pull right there left a ton of adhesive. So my guess is that the heat is just softening it enough that it's releasing from the paint and sticking back to the material again. But this is a tricky thing to do, because if you heat the material too much, is what happens, it just tears, like super easy, okay? Also, you're gonna burn your fingertips. So burning your fingertips sucks. You could try to wear a glove on removal. See, there's no adhesive on this. Like, I just tried to make this stick right here. There's nothing that's sticky on it. It's all on here. So yeah, no one wants burnt fingertips. Wearing a glove is really tricky to do. I find it doesn't give you a good feel when it comes to removal. You have to find how hot to heat the material, and usually that's kind of like by feel. Okay, so it's coming up really nicely right now. And then a huge patch right there. Okay, so this is where I sort of heated it a lot, and then I didn't heat it over here. So let's do the same thing again, and you're gonna see a pattern here, okay? This just takes forever. This is honestly the worst for a 4-year-old wrap I have ever encountered. Okay, so keep it warm. It's probably gonna leave a bit of adhesive where I start there, but should be, yep, there we go. Okay, so you can see it's leaving a lot less adhesive behind. It's not perfect, but it's better than trying to clean it up as a sheer, like the fender on the other side. I will show you this afterwards. Is really, really bad. So again, you can see the material still sticks, right? So like there's adhesive left on it. While this piece here, there's some tiny spots, but a lot of it has no adhesive left on it. Like there's just, it's crazy. Okay, so same thing, we're just gonna keep going across. I'll move the camera as I go. Actually, let's go a little bit higher here. There we go. You might hear some noise they're doing the roof here. Man, it's caused so much of a mess. Okay, so the top side is really a huge pain right now. Like this is where the material's more broken down. So it's leaving a bit more adhesive. Okay, not terrible there, I got a good pull. So again, it's just doing a few inches at a time, really. This is my life right now. Honestly, I don't know why the bumper is doing it, because the bumper shouldn't have any adhesive. It's mostly vertical. Wow, see, like when you heat it too hot, it just tears. Like it's really tough to find a balance here. But yeah, there's a top part of the bumper, like where it meets the hood on this car, that probably I would have assumed would have left adhesive like the rest of the vehicle on the horizontals, but the vertical just blows my mind. I'm really confused about the vertical. It's so fragile. The material is so fragile on the top because it's deteriorated that it's really tricky to heat it. And like that wasn't even that hot. And get it to not snap, but remove the film with the adhesive. Let's move the camera. I'm gonna get you zoomed in more so we can get you closer to that. There we go. And a little higher up right there. There. Sorry about the movement. There we go. Head back in with the heat again. Now, could I leave the car outside on a super hot day and then try to remove it? Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's nearing winter here, so I mean, it's not warm out at all. It's maybe, if we're lucky today, 60 degrees Fahrenheit, so like 15 Celsius. Yeah, this is. And again, the goal is to try to keep it warm also after heating it, like the piss out of it, basically, is to keep it warm while we're still pulling the material off. I have to also be careful again not to burn any trims. Like that just ripped. Okay? Like I don't want to burn this. Maybe it's not that easy to, but I don't want to find out. Jeez, okay. Let's get the camera over a bit more. I just left a ton of adhesive there because I didn't heat it enough. Let's get the camera over a bit more and let's get the camera sort of down, tilted. I wanted to get you higher up if possible. So you can probably see like right here, big patch of adhesive, same at the top right there, a whole bunch coming along the bottom here. Again, like it just rubs off. I don't want to rub it off too much because it's going to fall into the customer's car. So obviously when I remove this, I'm going to be closing the windows and stuff. But yeah, you can see that it does rub off. But again, when you're dealing with the size of the fender, like on the other side, you'll see it is. I'm hoping to God that the doors are not like this because they're huge, large, flat areas. Okay, so I'm gonna move my heat gun away from the area I just heated and then begin to pull. Nope, left a ton of adhesive there. Oh man, it's coming off in small pieces, come on. Small pieces then it gets even worse with small pieces, okay? So then you have glue and you have small pieces. Good luck. It's coming off in like slivers more on the top because the film has thinned. Yeah, super, super fragile on the top. I'm gonna try and do a decent size area here and see if I can get a good pull out of this. Okay, that's decent. Let's keep it going now. Okay, that was a decent one. All right, that was a decent pull. Okay, we got about 8 inches, 9 inches there. Same thing again. Yeah, so you have to move your heat gun out of the way and not be heating here where you're pulling because you will snap your material. Okay, so I'm gonna keep my heat gun out of the way and give this a pull. Okay, coming up pretty nice. This is only a skinny strip, guys. This is not like a huge section on a door, okay? Or like the bumper that I just did, or even the fender, okay? So coming up decent again. The less of this I have to clean, the better. Is Avery gonna do anything about this? Nope. I will let you know if they do though, but they will not. I have all the proof in the world of when this car was wrapped, other than the hood and the bumper because that was redone. But we're not running into issues on the hood. Okay, so that's the quarter panel section. Now let's just do the fender or some of it for the sake of it. I'm gonna zoom the camera back because since I have you on this side and the fender hasn't been touched yet, okay? So let's get this camera just tilted a bit more, oops, this way. Cool. Let's go right about here. Okay. So I'm gonna start at the front, just over here. It's the easiest access actually, right over here. Could start at the top too, but I can pull the material towards me this way. Again, I have to be careful that I don't burn the interior plastic trim with the heat gun. It's super fragile. Okay. And so put that nice and warm. And to be honest, it's not leaving adhesive on the edges. There's no primer used on this, okay? Like we don't use primer 94 in my shop. So there's no adhesive being left on the edges because the edges are hidden. So mainly like around the edge. there's not really any adhesive being left. So cleaning won't be as bad as trying to clean around the edges when you don't have access to them. Can be really tricky, right? So, okay, so this is coming up pretty nice right now. You should see the other side. I will show it to you. But I've learned my lesson. I'm heating a lot more. Again, so there's a huge patch. So let's just go warm and watch what happens, okay? I'll deal with cleaning it up. Okay, look at that. See the adhesive? It's all, I'm heating it, but it's all adhesive, okay? Not to mention we get a little tear there. That's probably a stone chip that caused that to happen. All pure adhesive. Even under that strip there, this is all adhesive. So again, you can see the difference between heating a lot and not heating enough. I'm overkilling the heats. Like, I'm just, again, my fingers are toasty. Good thing they're a bit desensitized from doing this for so long. Just wait until I show you the other side though. I only started to realize, like, if I heat it up to like burning hot temperatures, then yes, it left less adhesive behind. But that was more towards the end of removing the wrap on the other side. So the bumper came out better than it probably, I'm glad I didn't start on the bumper, to be honest. The hood came out again just fine, but I'm glad I didn't start on the bumper because the bumper would have been real bad. It's a big area, right? Okay, so again, I left a little bit of adhesive there. That's because I didn't have enough heat on it. Okay, get the heat gun away. Keep it warm though. Still left a bit of adhesive. That's okay. Again, it's better than it would be without all this heat. Super toasty. There isn't really a good solution for this. Like, how am I gonna have to clean this afterwards? And I'm just gonna use isopropyl alcohol. I'm not gonna use anything fancy. And it's gonna make a huge, huge, huge mess. But I gotta clean it up and then I can wrap. Like, so this, all this adhesive is setting me back, man, probably like a day, especially if it's gonna be on the doors. So again, if I just pull here, pure adhesive, nothing, this is all adhesive, nothing but adhesive. There's almost no glue left here. So let's heat, pull. See it, tear the material really easily. Heat it. I'm going to come down here and move my heat gun away so that cools a bit, just because I can't even grab it at that high temperature. There we go. It came off nice. Same thing here. Let's come down here. Again, I have to be mindful of the Fender flare trim pieces. Okay, that came off pretty decent. Good. Let's start getting over here. This way I can then work the material back the other way. I have to be careful with the amount of heat, especially near the headlight. It can cause a lot of damage. It can crack the light. So in that case, I would rather deal with removing adhesive than cracking a light with the heat. Let's come down here. Let's get back in there again, actually. Let's come back over here. So I felt like it was sticking too much. It needs to sort of come off like pretty effortlessly. Because if you feel like it's grabbing too hard, then it's gonna leave glue. And that's what's happening basically down here, because I can't really get too much heat on it. Yeah, see, it'll just tear. Tricky spot to do. Just try and keep it warm. Yeah. Over here, but going back this way shouldn't be too bad. Let's heat it. And then come back over here now. Let that cool slightly. Okay, just keep it warm now. There we go, good strip. It's patchy, but again, we have glue here. You can see glue on the bumper right here. But better than, again, the way it would be. It would be this and this everywhere, just like the other side. It's so coated on the other side that it looks like there's no glue there, but you'll see it. I mean, I'm confident the camera will pick it up, so. But it's that coated where it looks like there's almost no glue there. There's only a few spots that don't have any adhesive left over. Hot. Okay. Heat under here, let that cool again. Like the fact that this is a 1,000-degree heat gun, this is hot as hell. I'm gonna have some blisters when I'm done. That I have to heat it up to this temperature to get it to come off without adhesive being left behind is not good. At least there's somewhat of a solution, okay? So So somewhat of a solution. I wouldn't know if I'd call it a solution. It's just a better alternative to then just heating normally. This is not normal that way I'm heating right now. But better than what you would be dealing with, okay? If you don't add this amount of heat. Get all the way down in here. Work my way to the back side of the door. Again, it's not that this side it wasn't sitting in the sun less. If I wasn't removing it, if I was removing it like I was on the other side, I'd be running into a lot more adhesive than this left behind, okay? So, okay, didn't heat that enough, left some adhesive there. Oops, now I heated it too much and tore it. Okay, so at least on the back side of this edge, it's not really leaving any adhesive behind, which I'm happy about because it's sometimes hard to get around stuff and get that adhesive out of there. Okay, so I'm gonna let that cool a little bit. That was real hot. My fingertips are just getting more sensitive at this point. Whew, that's still real hot. Okay, that was, it's parachuting the heat inside. So when I heated it, just kind of it's cupping it inside of there. Whew, super hot. Okay, but yeah, no adhesive there. So that's bonus. Okay. Okay. So before we get too much more into this, let's get the camera off of the crane and show you the difference between this side and the other side. So I want you to see how it is on the other side versus this side. So there we go. All right, so can you see that on the top? All this, like this section right here. Get out of your way, the shadow, okay, there, all here. Again, this just kind of rubs off. But when you have a lot, it's not gonna be that simple. You will have no fingers left. There's a lot right here, because I was trying to prove a point, like with heating versus not heating enough. Let's check out the pillar, because again, this is sort of one of the purposes of the video, was to check out the pillar and see where, if the deterioration was like rust in the paint or whatever, nothing at all, okay? So the paint is spotless. Paint is, this car was brand spanking new when it came in. The customer got it that day. They work at Tesla, and they got it that day and brought it to me that day that they got it. So this car never saw the road more than the trip from there to here. Hood's fine, see? But that was probably like 2 years ago, I guess the hood was done, something like that. Yeah, the car never saw the road more than actually know where the Tesla is, and it's about 10, maybe 15 minutes drive. So that's the distance that it went. Okay, this side, learned my lesson on the fender. So pillar turned out better, not as good as the other side because I was still trying to figure it out, but applying more heat, there's still a ton of adhesive. I haven't even gotten into the door yet. Like, doors are not done. Mirror, I figured it out better here too, because I was, just left a little bit of adhesive, not terrible. Again, like this is simple enough to come off. It's gonna make a mess of my floor, but whatever. Everywhere on this fender is a disaster, okay? Everywhere. Just between here and about like here, okay? You can see it's sort of still shiny still, okay? There's some shiny spots in between, but you can see all the matte, like this is glue. If I take it, you can see the dirt from my fingers is getting stuck to it. Okay, here, this is where there's a shiny spot between here and here where there's no glue. So a patch where there's no glue, tiny spot there, just tiny spots here and there, but everywhere is more or less glue. This is gonna suck, to be honest. Let's go to the front bumper. Did better on there. Okay, so big patch there. Again, that was just me testing it, like rolling it back. My thumbs are so sore already, and I've barely removed any of the wrap. Across the top here, again, this is our horizontal, or more of our horizontal. I figured it would be here. Now, the fact that it's leaving a lot of adhesive even on the front, oops, let's focus, on the front side over here, like there's tons of it, is not good, okay? All the way down to the bottom and even underneath, okay? Even down in here, and even under the very bottom. Okay, the customer rewrapped this bumper, like I said. So I don't know how long it has been rewrapped before this removal, but either way, there is adhesive all under here, which is strange because normally UV light is what's breaking it down, which goes to kind of tell me that it's not even necessarily UV light, it's just poor quality adhesive in my opinion. Like they might have changed something at some point, I don't know. Nobody said anything to me about it. Put a tiny little inlay in there, I gotta remove that still, but whatever, it wasn't me. Yeah, even in here, like that's very strange for that to be leaving that much adhesive in an area like that, because that is concealed, like it is covered by the fog light or the side marker or whatever you want to call it. And especially underneath here, like why is it leaving so much adhesive under here when the sun is not hitting underneath there? And same with the very bottom of the car. You know, in here, fine, like there's some, which I also didn't expect there to be any there, but because it's so low and it's just, again, it's overshadowed or overcast by the top part of the bumper most of the time. So it's not like UV light's gonna be hitting there a lot. Just is what it is, man. Like, it honestly sucks. Wait till we get into the fenders, or sorry, the doors. I'm really not looking forward to those because those are large flat areas. Anyways, let's get the camera back on the crane. All right, guys. I hope this video was informative for you. Just showing you what can happen on a removal. There is nothing wrong with the paint right now, okay? Nothing at all. The paint is immaculate. It is the same, more or less, other than maybe a stone chip that got through it, but it's more or less the same as when it came in the day that I wrapped it, which was brand new. The car was delivered that day, and the car was purchased that day and brought here that same day. So customer picked it up and brought it here. Anyways, the paint's immaculate, okay? There's nothing wrong with the paint at all. It's, you know, how you clean this afterwards. If you take an SOS pad like steel wool or razor blades or just do silly things, then yes, that's going to cause damage to the paint. I'm going to be rubbing off whatever I can that's on the smaller areas like the mirrors and whatever with probably my fingers. Eraser wheels, I'm not a huge fan of. They're very abrasive, definitely going to need a polish. This car, the paint's so good still, doesn't even need a polish. So we don't want to have to polish this because it's just going to cut the clear coat down usually. Anyways, depends on what stage polish you do or what level of polish you do. So I don't want to cause any scuffing to the paint. I want to leave it as is, so I don't want to use an eraser wheel. I'm going to go put the elbow grease into doing this. I'm most likely just going to use isopropyl alcohol, and that will help dilute the adhesive or disintegrate the adhesive, dissolve it, whatever you want to call it. And there are other products in the market if you want to get fancy, but isopropyl works. You will go through a lot of rags or paper towel or whatever you're using. I'm just going to use cloths, like old ones. They're better than paper towel. Paper towel kind of gets stuck and leaves like paper behind and stuff like that. So you can try to use that if you want to. There's the blue paper towel, the shop towel, that works pretty well, but I'm just going to use cloths. And I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. Again, I hope you found the video informative, helpful, and insightful for you. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you for watching. As always, I appreciate it. Take care.